हम आज बात करने वाले हैं वॉशिंगटन सुंदर और शार्दुल ठाकुर के बारे में, खासकर बिकॉज कम ऑन, hand on heart, how many of you thought that Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar would be batting, first of all, in the Brisbane Test and then leading such a fantastic resistance from 186 for 6 to getting India in the end within 33 runs of Australia's first innings of 369? All about these two guys today.
और ऐसी बात नहीं कर रहे हैं हम कि दीज आर प्लेयर्स हु कैन बैट, नहीं शार्दुल बॉलर हु कैन बैट, ऐसा वाला नहीं था सीन ये था कि दे वर ड्राइविंग लाइक हाउ। एक हम दोनों में डिस्कशन हो रहा था, एक जो अपर कट शार्दुल ने मारा और फिर उसके बाद अगर बात करें तो वॉशिंगटन सुंदर विद दैट स्लॉग स्वीप, इट्स नाउ बीइंग कॉल्ड एज द नो लुक स्लॉग स्वीप। स्वैगर देखिए, मतलब चेक आउट the swagger in these two players, but this has really been symbolic of how this series has been for this Indian team. And just when you thought, Jamie, that you couldn't top Sydney, these guys have done that.
बिल्कुल, and वही because the same reason जो हम अक्सर चर्चा करते आ रहे हैं इस चैनल पे, the fact that India have sort of stood up to pretty much everything Australia have thrown at their way. Very, very good Australian bowling attack.
Yeah.
And barring that aberration, like we keep calling it, on day 4 at Adelaide Oval when they collapsed with 36 all out. आप मेलबर्न की बात करें, आप सिडनी की बात करें, और आप ब्रिस्बेन की बात करें, जहाँ पे we know Washington Sundar on debut, T. Natarajan on debut, Shardul Thakur almost like a debut because his first test match in 2018 didn't go very well. He bowled only 10 balls before hobbling off in pain. So really you have, let's face it, three debutants here. And the way Washington Sundar, look, I mean, we did some digging out and we saw that since November 2017, उन्होंने कुछ first class match नहीं खेला on account of injuries to an extent, and also हालांकि he's not played as much as we thought, but he's been a part of many India squads, both touring and away, when it comes to ODIs and T20s. And like you said, whenever Washington Sundar is back and available for Tamil Nadu, he walks straight into that team. And like Anand Vasu was telling us a few days ago, he's a very accomplished number 7 batsman. But क्योंकि हम लोग उन्हें कम देख चुके हैं बैटिंग करते हुए, we're not sure of what he did. But today he showed, and like we discussed before this show, he defended well, he played some good shots, but the way he left those balls with that bilkul deadpan look, yaar, a bit of like a Sunil Narayan there, nothing's going to bother me. And then of course Shardul Thakur, 6 first class 50s, over 200 first class wickets. That experience we believe was what got him this match. And what an innings. That uppercut was reminiscent of one other Mumbai batsman called Sachin Tendulkar.
पर यही बात हम करते आए हैं इस टेस्ट मैच में। पहले तो डेब्यू की बात कर रहे थे कि कौन कौन डेब्यू कर रहा है, उसके बाद हम बात कर रहे थे कि इंडिया डिस्पाइट हैविंग सच एन इनएक्सपीरियंस्ड बॉलिंग अटैक बोल्ड वेल टू रिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑस्ट्रेलिया टू 369। फिर जैसे अभी जेबी भी बता रहे थे 186 for 6 आपको लग रहा था कि बहुत डिफिकल्ट होगा यहाँ से इंडिया के लिए। देन इंडियाज लोअर ऑर्डर, एज वी हैव सीन इन दिस सीरीज, they stepped up and you saw a wonderful rearguard effort from the Indian lower order. Jamie, एक और चीज़ है जो कि मैं ट्विटर पे देख रही थी, एंडी जोल्समन ने ये ट्वीट करी थी कि this is the first time since 1947 that any batsman has gone on test debut in Australia and have taken 3 wickets and scored a 50. मतलब इंडिपेंडेंस की बात जस्ट बात हुआ था, मैंने डेट भी चेक करी, 1947, that test match was played in December 1947, so you can imagine 4 months after your independence. And then today was a day, so that sort of puts things in perspective of how difficult it is to make a debut in Australia and then to perform this well, and that too making a debut in such circumstances.
Bilkul, and it also talks about how, just going, you mentioned 1947 and that tweet, how many teats did we see when the match started? This was India's most inexperienced bowling attack since 1946. तो कहीं ना कहीं वो इंडिपेंडेंस की बात, वो क्रांतिकारियों की बात से लेकर कहीं ना कहीं इस इंडियन टीम के अंदर भी कुछ आग जली है. But look, jokes aside, Washington Sundar, a player who would have seen him making his debut. Yes, he's an all-rounder, a valid all-rounder with valid credentials, but he was kept back in this extended Indian Test squad primarily because of his off-spin bowling, which he could bowl to the Indian Test specialists in the nets across these 4 venues as preparation, as simulation for facing Nathan Lyon. And But here he is, bowled very well, got some big wickets. He got Steve Smith out, yeah,
Yeah.
in very early into his test debut with the ball. But that innings, that 60 odd that he got, just the composure, and yes, that six when he looked down and he hit Lion downtown will of course be a perfect recipe for comments and for a lot of
Memes, maybe?
memes and also a cult hero status on social media. But let's just look at the way that this guy comes in.
Jamie, but what do you think has been the reason? Why do you see जो ये इंडिया का यंगिस्तान जिसको बुला रहे हैं हम, कहाँ से इतना कॉन्फिडेंस आता है? Is it because they are just now used to playing these players in the IPL? That fear कि हम इतने लोगों के सामने खेल रहे हैं, occasion का fear कि हम कैसे एक टेस्ट मैच है इतना बड़ा उसमें हम कह रहे हैं. What is the reason कि आपको ये लगता है? और the other thing being कि they are being prepared in such a way, जहाँ पे राहुल द्रविड़ की बात आ जाती है, जहाँ पे बात आ जाती है about what the team management is doing, यहाँ पे बात आ जाती है about Ravi Shastri, about their batting coach, that these people have been training them so well that when you're given the opportunity, you go out and you express yourself like that.
I think that is a very valid topic as well, because आप देखिए these players, unlike teams of the past, especially if you look at, I mean, from what we grew up watching in the 90s, there was a bit of trepidation, a bit of uncertainty of Indian teams, despite the talent
Yeah.
we had going overseas, because traditionally, habitually, you were used to losing. You might go to Australia to maybe win one match or maybe draw two matches. अब वो mindset नहीं है इंडिया के अंदर. I think this started largely under the Rahul Dravid captaincy. Yes, a lot of credit goes to Saurabh Ganguly for shaping that team and the way that he took that Australian attack on in 2003. But then it was really Rahul Dravid had to inherit a team with a lot of problems post that era, and then it started there. Rahul Dravid, of course, gave up the captaincy, and then MS Dhoni, that era was when things changed. But अगर हम बात करें of this current last few years, Kohli, even Rahane, huge credit to Rahane. These players are groomed. Yes, the IPL matters, but it's a sign of how confident they are because of the belief, having seen things, having gone there. What team? Forget India, कोई भी team बताओ मुझे जो 36 all out के बाद मेलबर्न बॉक्सिंग डे टेस्ट जीती है, सिडनी ड्रॉ करती है, और यहाँ they'll be very, very happy to walk away with a draw here, especially with the rain coming on day 5. But yes, to answer your question, I think it just has to deal with the system that's producing more brave, more fearless cricketers. IPL is a factor. They mingle with these players. They get to take on these overseas bowlers in the nets. They get to spend time with De Villiers and Warners and Williamsons, learning from them. And it's clearly rubbed off. Like you said, there's a fantastic stat about 1947. लेकिन शार्दुल ठाकुर और वाशिंगटन सुंदर को इस तरह देखते खेलते हुए बैटिंग करते हुए देखते हैं, they didn't look like they were playing their first and second test.
Yes. Also, just going back to the conversation we're having, Jamie, of where they get this confidence from. Like, I feel genuinely credit has to be given, and I know very often a lot of people go back to how Rahul Dravid is shaping some of these youngsters. तो जो एक इंडिया A टीम की हम बात करते हैं, अंडर 19 की बात करते हैं, अब जैसे वॉशिंगटन सुंदर हुए, उन्होंने इतना फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट खेला नहीं है, तो कहाँ से आ रहा है ये कॉन्फिडेंस, कहाँ से आ रही है आपकी जो टेक्निकल नो हाउ होती है, क्योंकि जिस हिसाब से वो खेल रहे थे, यू रियली वंडर्ड कि उन्होंने इतने फर्स्ट क्लास गेम्स कैसे कम खेले हैं. येस, देयर वर इंजरीज एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, बट दैट्स वेयर आई थिंक a good system comes into the forefront कि कैसे एक अच्छा सिस्टम चल रहा है जहाँ पे ये यंगस्टर्स ना सिर्फ आ रहे हैं, पर जब इनको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही है on the world's biggest stage of cricket, which is test cricket, you are able to perform like that. क्योंकि they weren't batting against any ordinary bowling attack. Correct. Are facing the likes of Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, and Josh Hazelwood, and despite that, not just your confidence can take you that far, but your technical abilities, your match awareness, आपको पता है कितनी बॉल आपको लीव करनी है, कितनी कौन सी खेलनी है, just unbelievable. मतलब उसके बाद फिर शार्दुल ठाकुर आउट हो जाते हैं, सुंदर हैज टू बैट विद द टेल एंडर्स, एंड देन यू आर सीइंग कि वो स्ट्राइक को भी इस तरह से रख रहे हैं कि उनको ज्यादा स्ट्राइक मिले.
He looked the part of a proper number 7 batsman. A role, like we said, he has done for Tamil Nadu fairly well, despite being out of the team on account of injuries and playing for India or being in India squads. But look, yes, he's a proper batsman. Like many off spinning all rounders. You see, Ashwin ki baat dekhi. Ashwin at one point used to open the innings in domestic cricket. So most off spinners are first batsmen, and I think Sundar falls in that same category as well. Shardul Thakur, I think but now he deserves to be called an all rounder. He gets a lot of shtick, I know, on social media, but the guy has 6 first-class 50s,
Yeah.
and now in his second innings, he gets this 60-odd here. So that speaks volumes of the depth and the system which you spoke about.
एक और चीज जो मुझे थोड़ी सी स्वीट लगी है is Abhinav Mukunda tweeted one thing about Natarajan saying, Nattu, this was the most difficult thing you've done facing Mitchell Stark's over. And I
And he
think
survived.
that sort of tells you how good a bowling attack Australia has. उसके बावजूद भी 33 की आपने आप 33 रन से ट्रेल कर रहे हो. Jimmy, there is a 33 that India is aware of. There is history behind it. There is Adelaide 2003. Now going forward though, what do you think will be? Okay, पहले तो rain की बात आपको बता देते हैं. From what we have seen that there are thunderstorms, thunder showers predicted for tomorrow. तो किस तरह से आपको लगता है अब Australia will be approaching? You saw David Warner having come out attacking. He wanted to score quickly.
बिल्कुल.
So what do you think Australia will look to do now? They have to win this.
वार्नर तो चाहेंगे कि वो कुछ करे, क्योंकि इन्होंने पूरी सीरीज में जब वो आए, मानता हूँ पूरी तरह से फिट नहीं थे वार्नर, बट ही इज नॉट डन एनीथिंग. ही इज गॉट आउट टू मोहम्मद सिराज ट्वाइस अर्ली. आज जिस तरह से हमने ब्रीफली उस पैसेज में देखा था वार्नर, दैट्स द वार्नर व्हिच वी हैव ऑल सीन, एंड वी आर यूज्ड टू हिम बैटिंग दिस वे एट होम अगेंस्ट एनी visiting team. So बिल्कुल he will want to do something. Marcus Harris fighting for his place, only playing this match because the first choice opener Will Pucovski injured हैं. So a lot is riding, and it's the Australian way to not get into that shell. ये batsmen चाहेंगे कि हम मारे पीछे. Marnus Labuschagne है leading run scorer of the series. Smith है who again two poor matches, then one big match, and again didn't got a start here in Brisbane. So that's their way. They're going to look to try and pile on the runs because जैसे कि आपने कहा था, scattered thunderstorms on days 4 and 5, खासकर apparently day 5 पे, and they'll be very very aware कि अगर इंडिया यहाँ से ड्रॉ लेके बच गई तो बॉर्डर गावस्कर ट्रॉफी उनके हाथ में. और दूसरी बात, वर्ल्ड टेस्ट चैंपियनशिप की आप बात करें, ऑस्ट्रेलिया cannot afford any more slip-ups if they want to be in the top 2 when it comes to that world test championship.
You also have to give this thing of how luck favors the brave. ये वाली एक बात भी है, क्योंकि आज भी ऐसा लग रहा था, बहुत सारी chances थी, half chances थी जो Australian bowlers ने create की, but today was, like I said, you had 2 batsmen braving it out in the middle, तो फिर तो luck आपके साथ होगा ही. Let's start taking some questions from you guys. Thank you for joining us, people. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. Jamie, you want to take some?
बताइए क्या है?
Ashish Mani Tiwari saying Washington Sundar replacement of Jadeja.
Well, look, we know that Jadeja at least 2 test matches के लिए बाहर हैं जब इंडिया इंग्लैंड के साथ खेलेगी. तो yes, there's a bit of a like for like replacement there. Of course, you have to say कि अगर बुमराह, ईशांत, उमेश, शामी, भुवनेश्वर की बात करें, अश्विन की बात करें, जब ये सारे प्लेयर्स फिट हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं शार्दुल ठाकुर और वॉशिंगटन सुंदर के लिए खेलना बहुत मुश्किल है. Perhaps knowing कि we might not be playing test cricket for a while now was on their mind, or maybe not. Maybe they said यार हम यहाँ बस मजे करने आए, and we're going to see where this goes. But yeah, I wouldn't say like for like replacement yet. I think Jadeja is a fantastic fielder. His bowling is a lot more evolved. He offers more variety than Sundar. So let's not saddle poor Sundar on the basis of one match as the next Jadeja. We hope that he gets a chance in Jadeja's absence to play the first test against England in Chennai.
Yeah.
But let's just let players have their own individual identities.
Also, Destructive Era. Sorry, I was going to say something, but I was completely taken aback by this message. गावा में बजा दिया बाजा.
So far, अब बस वही करो कि दुआ करो कि भारतीय टीम टिके रहे अपने लक्ष्य, take wickets, try and bowl Australia out, and then somehow bat out time, because win तो दूर की बात है, पर वो बारिश के साथ थोड़ा खेलना, the waiting game, hope for a draw to keep the series.
He's come up with another smart one saying, ये हाथ किसी को मत देना ठाकुर.
Yeah, शार्दुल ठाकुर को लगी थी हाथ में, and but he braved that out and he batted very very well.
Also, I think Akash Chopra had come up with this. ये bat मुझे दे ठाकुर, from the So, okay, Aditya is saying, can we get a result in this match? Jamie, what do you think?
Unless Australia pile up the runs and then knock India
So
out
there's
in a
no
short
rain.
span of time. The rain is going to be a very very deciding factor in this match. It looks like, or unless India can somehow skittle Australia quickly. But Navdeep Saini did not look fit at all. He was still a bit stiff. I don't see him bowling a lot of overs.
Right.
Kitna Mohammad Siraj, Shardul Thakur, Natarajan or Sundar kar पाएंगे, depends to be seen. I don't see Australia frankly skittle for a low score. They're going to look to bat out the majority of day 4, set India a target, but rain I think will have the final say in this.
So I've given the phone to Jamie so that
Ji,
he can
ji,
read
ji.
your messages as well.
And Abhinav Chandrasekhar, does the top order now need to step up responsibly? Absolutely. They
Oh,
really
yeah.
they really need to. Whatever target is set by Australia, Rohit Sharma, and I know I've been harsh on him. Rohit Sharma will know fully well the pain of that shot. I know he came out and defended his shot, saying that that's how I play, that's my role in the team is to put bowlers under pressure. But again, any critic can say yes, but the skies overhead were grey. There was a bit of rain in the air coming about. You had tea break in 25 minutes, so I'm sure we will see a much more applied Rohit Sharma. Shubman Gill will also look to end his tour with a promising note to prove that he deserves further chances. And Pujara again got a very good ball today. So, but yes, definitely the top order will have to bat out time. They cannot be thinking of a win from now. Bat out to day 5 and let the rain take over.
Also, the other thing being, Jamie, that yes, you've had these efforts from your lower order. We saw that in Sydney, and you saw that today with the Indian team with Washington Sundar and Shardul Thakur. But let's
Correct.
not forget that there are some of the top batsmen who need to take responsibility for the
बिल्कुल,
shots
बिल्कुल,
that they have
बिल्कुल,
played, right?
बिल्कुल.
I mean, I know that Rohit Sharma का जो वो पूरा है, that scene is polarizing. उनको खेलना चाहिए था, नहीं
बिल्कुल,
खेलना चाहिए
बिल्कुल.
था. Obviously, some people believe कि वो उनका natural game है. He's trying to क्या बोलते हैं, be aggressive against the bowlers.
Yep.
And then there are some who are saying, come on, you're Rohit Sharma, you have to you have a huge score to sort of
Correct.
chase in a sense the first innings. So why are you playing such a shot, right? But what about the likes of Mayank Agarwal, जिस तरह से वो आज out हुए? What about Ajinkya Rahane also? I mean, he could have been far more compact in the way he was playing. Why go chasing for a ball outside the off stump?
Yep.
So उस पे क्या सवाल उठने जायज हैं?
बिल्कुल जायज है. आप इंडिया के कैप्टन हो. अगर हम बात करें रहाणे की, तो लिटरली मिनट्स बिफोर ही गॉट आउट, टिम पेन ने एक फील्डर को तीसरी स्लिप से चौथी स्लिप पोजीशन में डाला, क्योंकि रहाणे ने पहले सेशन में मिचेल स्टार्क की बॉलिंग पे 2 ड्राइव एज की उस वेकेंट गैप में बाउंड्रीज के लिए. सो इट वाज अ क्लियर ट्रैप. अगर हम यहाँ अपने घर के सोफे पे बैठे हुए देख सकते हैं कि यार oh no, he's put a 4th catcher and a 4th slip, don't do it. और उसके कुछ पल बाद रहाणे goes and steers a shot to Wade at 4th slip. That was a very very loose dismissal. अग्रवाल की बात करें, अग्रवाल was drafted back into the 11 because of injuries to Vihari, batting in the unfamiliar middle order place. He looked so good. I kept saying in interview also, yaar, banda, he's looking so good. Got to 38, hit that 6, and then he goes and flashes outside off stump to a wide ball and nicks off. I think that was a really disappointing wicket as well. Rishabh Pant के तो हम बात ही करेंगे कि वैसे खेलते, but again that bouncer, it's like he waited and then he did this. So those 3 wickets put undue pressure on Sundar and Thakur, but hats off to them जिस तरह से उन दोनों ने खेला to weather that Australian bowling attack.
Yeah.
और मैं ये कहूँगा कि ऑस्ट्रेलियन की तेज गेंदबाज तीनों वो कभी नहीं झुके. उनकी पेस अच्छी थी. They were relentless. They could have perhaps taken a step back, but they did not. They got frustrated. उन्होंने अपनी intensity बरकरार रखी. So again, hats off to Sundar and Thakur for playing that well.
Let's just take some comments now. Virat Singh is saying he is deaf from 1 year as well. Yes, Virat, there is...
सुनने में आया था आज, जी जी.
no, I was just going through the reports. There is this thing, he's deaf in 1 year since birth.
Yep.
But that doesn't seem to affect him at all in the way he's
If
batting and bowling.
if I can just take a second to request, please don't put the same message 15 times because that ends up becoming spamming and very annoying to read. हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं आप सबके questions पढ़े, लेकिन अगर आप एक ही सवाल को 20 बार डालोगे तो it's a bit hard to read. We're trying our best here to read
वो वाला play लीजिए, Physics Climber 51. ऋषभ पंत से सहवाग की तरह ओपनिंग क्यों नहीं कराते हैं जिमी?
क्योंकि वो ओपनर है नहीं और उनमें वो काबिलियत नहीं है जो वीरेंद्र सहवाग के पास था. It's an unfamiliar role for him. And when you're keeping, ऐसा कौन सा कीपर है जो ओपनिंग करते हैं और फिर लंबे समय तक कीपिंग करते हैं? कीपर्स और मेजोरिटी वो मिडिल ऑर्डर में खेलते हैं, और ऋषभ पंत ओपनर है नहीं, तो देयर इज नो पॉइंट इवन हैविंग हिम ओपन in tests. There's one more question I saw, a good one before the spamming started. कहाँ गया वो? एक था about whether Washington Sundar would be picked for England. बिल्कुल, because Ravindra Jadeja injured है, he's had a surgery earlier a few days ago, और वो at least 2 टेस्ट मैच के लिए Jadeja will not play against England. So I think Washington Sundar will now walk into the test squad. Whether he plays or not remains to be seen. But if Jadeja is not fit, Ashwin for sure will be fit because he will recover from his back injury. You might see Ashwin and Sundar playing at their home ground, Chepauk.
There was one very nice one. It was a compliment for us, so I have to read that one because it's not very often you get compliments, and when you do, you should always read it and feel good about yourself. Udbhav Mehta is saying, "Hey, great work, guys. I feel like I'm chilling and chatting with friends when I watch your post-match chat. Will Australia be under pressure if Warner gets out early tomorrow?" Jamie, I think Australia will be under pressure.
बिल्कुल, वो तो वैसे ही इतना pressure because they know the openers have not really done much. So वैसे ही Marnus, like our Chireshwar Pujara, Marnus Labuschagne often finds himself walking in at number 3 very early into innings. So if Warner goes, it'll be great for whoever gets his wicket, because that's a huge wicket to get. But pressure again will be on Smith and Labuschagne to bat.
Yeah. Shanu Kumar is asking for weather forecast. Well, the weather forecast is this, that tomorrow and day after there will be scattered thunder showers. That's what they've said. 60% chances of rain.
Yep.
So, as we know, there is every possibility that you might have a lot of overs, being curtailed because of the
लग तो रहा है, और बारिश का साथ अगर आया तो भारतीय टीम और उनके फैंस खुश होंगे, क्योंकि यहाँ जीत तो बहुत मुश्किल लग रहा है. बट अगेन लाइक वी सेड, आप यहाँ ड्रॉ करोगे गैबा पे तो सीरीज आपके साथ रहेगी. यू विल गो होम विद द बॉर्डर गावस्कर
एंड योर हेड्स हेल्ड
हाई. तो मैं कहता हूँ लाइक यस्टरडे आपने कहा था, अगर वो हारेगी भी, heads are still held very high. To go through all this, the humiliation of 36 all out, losing so many players, you won at the MCG, you drew at the SCG, and now you're competing with Australia man to man, looking in their eyes, saying, "Aja beta, hum aapse khelenge." Not your first pick 11 by any standard, but you have shown you've won the respect and the admiration. You've won hearts for your performance, Ajinkya Rahane and your team.
There's Srinivas Kulkarni who's asking Rahane over Kohli for Test captaincy. Is that a fair debate many are making after this stint? I think it is a fair debate because India is doing well. It wouldn't have been a debate had India been struggling in the absence of Virat Kohli. But you know what? Virat Kohli will be watching this. It's not that he's not seen how the team is performing in his absence. He is watching every ball. I mean, I'm sure he's taking breaks between taking care of his daughter with his wife. But I'm sure he's watching this series very closely. उनको सब पता है क्या हो रहा है. अभी उन्होंने tweet डाला है about Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar's performance and congratulating them. So I feel like if he feels that there is something that needs to be done with his captaincy, going by how this series has gone, he might want to include that in his captaincy. You know, how just take some tips maybe from Ajinkya Rahane and why things went the way they did in this series. तो वो जरूर वो करेंगे. That is one thing.
Tushar, Jaggi, I will just request you not to post the same message. मैंने अभी इसका जिक्र किया था. When you post the same message 10 times, it spams us. And then we have a hard time reading it. Yes, good to see you also. I guess you've not been following our lives, क्योंकि हम पिछले कम से कम पूरे सीरीज में हम 10-12 lives कर चुके हैं. Good to see you, but please मेरे दोस्त spam मत करो. It's very annoying to read the same message 10 times.
Prakash Lalwani is saying here, because of Jamie's plug at Saurabh Pant's channel. Really love listening to you,
Hey Prakash,
Jamie.
welcome. Nice to have you here as well. Thank you.
What are mods?
Moderator?
How do you become moderators?
I think a moderator is someone behind the scene, like on Saurabh show, he has someone who's recording it. I don't know.
I think it's the people who are watching you. They can become moderators.
No, moderator is someone who's in charge.
I don't know. I watched you though.
A good question by Vansh Parihar. Availability of Hardik Pandya for England matches? We'll have to see. I know that he's not playing any domestic cricket right now. He and Kunal lost their father yesterday, so deepest condolences to them. I think if he's back to bowling fitness, you might see him at home. The question is, does India need a Hardik Pandya in home test matches? I'm not so sure.
See, now we know. Navjot Singh is telling us you give them rights as a streamer. To make them mods, you will give them
Okay.
rights. Thanks, Navjot. So you can administer the chat. So they can
Ha,
administer
so
the
but
chat
it's
and
but
others
it's
in this
it's
chat.
it's normally somebody on your from your team on your
No, I
who
don't
you know.
think.
No,
Okay,
that's
never
how
mind.
that's
We'll
anyways.
figure
This is
this
not
out.
this is not what we're here to talk about.
Sugar Fries is saying the viewers can become moderators. They handle
Correct.
spam and give temporary bans. See, that's what I'm saying. These guys can do it.
Correct.
Anyway, thank you so much, guys.
Thank
I'm
you,
going to
Navjot.
figure this
Thank you,
out
thank you,
for
thank
for our next lives, for maybe
Definitely,
the
I
Indian
will.
series,
I
but-
will happily have someone mute people who spam me. Very annoying. Okay, let's get back to the cricket questions.
Role of pitch in Shardul and Washi's success. Chaitanya Kocha is asking. Jamie?
Sorry, I got. Sorry, what?
Role of the pitch in Shardul and Washi's success.
Pitch तो वही था
Was
दोस्तों.
playing well though.
Pitch look, but it's the GABBA. GABBA is a very true wicket. We see batsmen succeed there. ऐसा नहीं था कि बहुत सारे deliveries उछल रहे थे, गर्दन पे आ रहे थे. And Australia, I don't think they wavered in intensity that much. They were just at the batsman all the time. Very few balls were actually on the stump. I thought that was one weak angle. They could have pitched up more balls. We saw Shardul Thakur finally bowl because one ball was up there on the stumps. But overall, I just go back to the fact of how Rahane, Pant and Agarwal, who were all batting very well, they threw away their wickets. And that's the difference. Shardul Thakur और Washington Sundar ने वो नहीं किया था. Like you said, very validly जो हम देख रहे थे, इन्होंने कितनी कॉन्फिडेंस और इंस्पिरेशन लिया होगा अश्विन और बिहारी की डे 5 सिडनी टेस्ट की बैटिंग को देख के, it was just more about the will to hang in there. Maybe because they have a different mindset. यार, we didn't think we'd be playing this match. हमें पता है कि हम शायद आगे इतना नहीं खेलेंगे. Who knows what it is? That only they will know. But there was a freshness to the way they applied themselves, a smartness. I go back to my earlier comment कि Washington Sundar ने जितनी बेहतरीन तरीके से डिफेंड किया और शॉट्स मारे, the way he was leaving balls was fantastic, and that was the hallmark of a very, very good player.
I think that's what we were talking about it जब वो बैट कर रहे थे, that that is where you realize the match awareness part of it, the how good the ball is, to understand that you don't have to go after every ball, like all of those things. You see how well both Shardul and Washington were doing in this case. So absolutely brilliant.
Mayank Chaudhary is asking, are you sure Aussies having Tim Payne as captain is a good move? Even Smith ban is over for now. Very good question, Mayank.
Yeah.
I think हाँ, मैं मानता हूँ कि टिम पेन को काफी क्रिटिसिज्म मिला है for his DRS choices, for his batting, for his drop catches. इसलिए आपको ये भी देखना पड़ेगा कि टिम पेन ने उस सैंडपेपर गेट के बाद जिस तरह से he stood up to the responsibility. He was barely making a comeback in the test team, after the surprise move to be named captain. He's had a really positive impact on this Australian team, going and winning, doing well in England in the Ashes, winning home series, Yes, he's not been at his best. We've seen, I think a lot of it may have, क्योंकि उनको जो frustration उनके चेहरे पे आई थी जब पुजारा, पंत, विहारी, अश्विन बैटिंग कर रहे थे सिडनी डे 5 टेस्ट में, all that chirping looks bad when you drop 3 catches in a day. But overall, I think Tim Payne should get a lot of credit for keeping this Australian team together after the Smith and Warner bans. आपने पूछा Smith के बारे में. Justin Langer has spoke about this, saying yes, we know that Smith is eligible to hold a leadership role, but frankly, it's not something we're talking about. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Tim Payne will keep the job for a while longer, but who knows?
There is also where did it go? Where do these things go? Deepak Vaishnav who's saying due credit to Dravid for producing such talented youngsters. I think you have to, because you see when you talk to, I've had the good fortune of really talking to some of the youngsters, especially after India won the under-19 World Cup. So you had Prithvi Shaw and Shubman Gill and all of them come back from winning that winning that World Cup, and when they came back, I spoke to them. Rahul Dravid was also there, and all of them had one thing about Dravid sir and how well he guided them. And we all know what a wonderful cricketer and a human being Rahul Dravid is. Likes to remain in the shadows, does not want to come in front and take any credit, but definitely I think there has to be credit given to Rahul Dravid for the way he's shaping these India A players and under-19
Definitely.
players.
Sudhir Kumar, with chances of rain, do you foresee Australia asking India to bat and score 270, 280 and 70 overs on the 5th day? It's a very good tactic. They know that on day five, if there's a bit of assistance in the pitch and overhead, they could make inroads. I don't think 280 will be chased on a day five Gabba wicket, despite the true nature. Only because India अगर वो उस mindset पे जाएगी जीतने के लिए, उससे कुछ खतरनाक साबित हो सकता है. I would much rather see India. Maybe you want to give me India sort of just play it out, take that draw, rather than take risks. All too many batsmen on this tour have got out playing shots, you know.
Yeah.
Plus, with the rain, I think rain will have the final say.
Yeah, in
But
this
yes,
match.
it's possible that 280, 290 target is set and India take the bait. Yes. Swapnil, what do you say about Rohit as a playing 11 for upcoming series? Look, रोहित शर्मा की अगर हम बात करें, वी नो कि इंडिया में उनका रिकॉर्ड बहुत अच्छा है और क्योंकि हम 4 टेस्ट खेलने वाले हैं इंग्लैंड के खिलाफ, तो वहां तो वो जरूर खेलेंगे. एंड आई थिंक ही विल हैव लर्नड फ्रॉम दैट डिसमिसल, दैट शॉकिंग डिसमिसल टू नेथन लायन. आई डोंट थिंक वो दोबारा ऐसे खेलेंगे. हालांकि वो कहते हैं कि ये मेरा स्टाइल है, टीम चाहती है कि मैं ऐसा खेलूं क्योंकि मैं फिर बॉलर्स को प्रेशर में डालता हूं. Debatable choice of words by Rohit, but I don't think we're going to see Rohit go because it's a 4-test series at home, and this series is very important for India to lock in a top 2 spot on the World Test Championship table. तो आप रोहित को देखेंगे इंग्लैंड के खिलाफ और वो अच्छे रन भी बनाएंगे इंग्लैंड के खिलाफ. Tushar Jaggi, can India encourage an Australian batting collapse? They will try their best to force a collapse. डिपेंड करता है. साइनी शायद बॉलिंग नहीं कर पाएंगे. एक सवाल भी आया था साइनी को लेके, जिस तरह से वो काफी स्टिफ थे क्रीज पे बैटिंग करते वक्त, तो हैमस्ट्रिंग और एब्डोमेन स्ट्रेन जो भी है उनका, वो लग रहा है अभी भी उनको थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम.
He was out in the field.
He was there, but who knows whether he can bowl a long spell, full pace. ये मान लो कि साइनी ज्यादा ओवर नहीं डाल पाएंगे, which means it all comes down to Siraj, Thakur, Natarajan and Sundar to take wickets. Collapse हो सकता है, हम already देख चुके हैं इससे पहले. But the way that David Warner was batting, काफी tough टक्कर देंगे लगता है Warner day 4 पे.
Vansh is asking us thoughts about Australian ex-cricketers media talking and demoralizing Indian team from the start of the tour. I get it. What a proverbial slap on their faces in this case. And they do it all the time. I mean, you've seen Australians. This is a very Australian way of starting any competition, any sporting competition, where they'll always take on the opposition, and they do it together with the media, former cricketers, experts, etc. So kya fark padta hai? At the end of the day, it's about what you see and how well the opposition performs. In this case, India has done brilliantly. So
और अगर आप मीडिया की बात करें तो ऑस्ट्रेलियन मीडिया वैसे ही काफी जिंगोइस्टिक है. जिंगोइस्टिक तो ब्रिटिश वाले भी हैं, पर ये काफी रूथलेस है. ये इनकी माइंड गेम्स बहुत पहले से शुरू होता है. चाहे एशेज सीरीज हो, दे स्टार्ट डूइंग इट, तो बट हु केयर्स व्हाट दे से यार.
बट द अदर थिंग इज आल्सो कि ये खुद की अपनी, अगर इनकी टीम खराब कर रही होती तो उनकी भी बहुत लिखते हैं, ऐसी बात नहीं है. सो यस, वेल टू बैड. कुछ भी बोले, हाँ इंडिया ने तो अच्छा परफॉर्म किया है. There was one very nice question on Mayank Agarwal. I don't know, whoever it is, good question. I'm going to take it. I think it was it Mayank? Namesake Mayank? I don't know. He's saying ki
Krish is asking this.
Was it Krish?
In commentary, they said Mayank Agarwal is better suited in the middle order because of his higher lift rather than new ball thoughts. It's a very good point. I didn't hear this point being made on commentary.
I heard it.
मैं अक्सर म्यूट पे सुनता हूँ, सच कहूँ तो, या मैं कुछ दूसरे लाइव पे बैठा था आज 1-1.5 घंटे के लिए. But look, Mayank Agarwal, you have to, more than the technical backlip, I think you have to see where he's played most of his cricket in first class cricket and domestic cricket. अगर वो ज़्यादातर टॉप ऑर्डर में खेल चुके हैं, फिर तो उनका टॉप ऑर्डर में खेलना बनता है. और आज जिस तरह से अग्रवाल खेले, वो 38 रन्स खेले. This was the Agarwal that we saw in his debut series in 2018-19 in Australia. It's the way we've seen him bat at home against India. I just think something mentally and technically was not working for him in those first 2 test matches. He got a good batting deck here. Like I said, अच्छे तरह से खेल रहे थे. फिर वो गंदा full-blooded wide drive मारा, स्मिथ को catch दिया second slip में. I think he'll be very, very annoyed. But I think overall we should persist with him as an opener. Perhaps maybe put Shubman Gill down in the middle order going forward.
Mayank is asking, what are your thoughts of selection of Yuzi on for the test matches in absence of Jadeja?
पता नहीं, अच्छा सवाल है मयंक.
अच्छा ऑप्शन भी है.
चहल की बात करें तो कभी वो टेस्ट स्क्वाड की बातचीत में नहीं आ चुके हैं इससे पहले. I know he's played a lot of first class cricket, पर कहीं ना कहीं शायद इंप्रेशन बन चुका है कि वो वाइट बॉल प्लेयर है, RCB and of course India. But why he's never been considered, I don't know. That the selectors and team management can answer. Maybe now with Jadeja absent, there's an opening. But then again, you have Kuldeep Yadav, who I feel really bad for not getting a chance all tour. I think अगर आपको एक स्पिनर खिलाना है, प्राइमरी स्पिनर in place of जडेजा, तो कुलदीप का हक बनता है चहल से पहले. अब आपके पास वाशिंगटन सुंदर हैं जिन्होंने अच्छी गेंदबाजी की, अच्छी बैटिंग की, तो लाइक फॉर लाइक ऑलराउंडर, यस यू वुड प्ले सुंदर बिफोर इवन कुलदीप और चहल. आई थिंक चहल इज स्टिल वेरी वेरी फार बैक इन देयर reckoning. Navjot Singh is saying, will Varun Chaturvedi, who is Varun
Chakravarti. This Varun
Chakravarti, yes, sorry, the mystery spinner.
Yes,
पर वो first class cricket नहीं, वो first class cricket नहीं खेलते हैं, तो he'll be limited to a T20 bowler. Yes, sorry, Varun Chakravarti. Yeah.
Why Australian bowlers are so lethal versus England and other test playing teams in Australia, and they're not effective versus Indians? We've seen bowlers like Johnson, Lee, Stark, Vaughan were average versus India. ऐसा तो नहीं है वैसे. They're not average versus India. They do bowl well against us, and had we not had these, like last series, I remember they bowled really well, and we were 1-1 before.
They bowl very well, बिल्कुल. हाँ, आप 2018 की बात कर रहे हो ना?
नहीं, ये कह रहे हैं overall ही, about Vaughan and about everybody else. And
well, I mean, यही इसी bowling team ने इंडिया को कुछ 3 हफ्ते पहले 36 ऑल आउट पे किया था, तो ऐसी बात नहीं है. But full credit to the way that someone like Pujara or Rahane has bought out time, you know. If अगर Shane Warne और Alan Border और Ponting और ये मगरा कह रहे हैं कि ये ऑस्ट्रेलिया के सबसे खास तीन गेंदबाज है, then full credit to India for playing them off. But we've seen Pat Cummins has literally owned Pujara all across Test cricket, and so is Hazelwood now. So it's not like they're bowling badly. I think they've created opportunities. A lot of drop catches. 5 catches have gone down off Nathan Lyon. Otherwise, he could be a lot more than 7 wickets. So I think it just depends. Maybe England's batting on that certain day you're talking about was not that good. But keep in mind, India were bowled out for 36 by this same bowling attack. Shahrukh Malik from India and Delhi is spamming us majorly with one
about
thing.
Wrong
captain Tim Payne. ठीक है भाई, आपकी बात है, ठीक है, पर प्लीज आप स्पैम मत करो दोस्त. बहुत ही annoying है जब एक बंदा 20 बार वही पोस्ट करता है. प्लीज, sorry, please don't do it.
Technical Mohit Singh, who will win the match?
बारिश. देखो दोस्त, जीत की बात तो अगर हम कहेंगे तो जीत, I think Australia have a slightly better chance of winning it because they're ahead, and the team batting on day 5 will always be under pressure. But I think rain will have the final say in the end.
Srinivas is asking us, Jamie, you can turn on slow mode in chat.
We tried that once, but it was a bit, then the same things were getting slower.
We have no idea how to do it.
नहीं, हमने किया था एक बार.
Really? Okay.
Vivek, sorry.
Jeet spectators ki is Navjot Singh. What is Vivek saying?
What do you think India should do tomorrow? What's your prediction? Well, they have to. There's no question. They have to take wickets. जल्द से जल्द ऑस्ट्रेलिया को खत्म करो, अपने आप को 100 का टारगेट दो और मैच खत्म करो. ये होना तो ऑब्वियसली बहुत ही मुश्किल है, बिकॉज ऑस्ट्रेलिया की बैटिंग इतनी फर्जी भी नहीं है कि वो 80 पे ऑल आउट हो जाएगी. But again, pressure now more than the first innings on the likes of Siraj, who in his 3rd Test match is leading the Indian attack. A lot of pressure on him. Natarajan, 12 first class matches old. इनको अच्छी गेंदबाजी डालनी पड़ेगी. Shardul Thakur. It's going to be. I think it'll be a very hard day for India tomorrow. But as we've seen, Meha, ये टीम ये पीछे नहीं हटेगी. ये पूरी अपनी जान ये 100% देगी. जो भी करेगी पूरी दिल लगा के करेगी, शिद्दत से करेगी. But yes, they need wickets fast, and I think it's going to be a fairly tough day. But again, day 5 की इंतजार करो जब बारिश आएगी.
There is Ripunjay who's saying, do you think time to change the coaching staff and split the captaincy later down the year since team looks more united and relaxed under Rahane?
It's again, it's a question.
It's a
which
question that is being raised.
No? Yeah. Who knows about that? Because Virat Kohli ke time pe, I just cannot see anyone playing Virat Kohli playing under anyone right now. That's the way that he's led this team. The way that he's blossomed as a batsman across formats as captain, I think he ticks as a batsman when he's in charge. और दूसरा कैप्टन कैसे करेंगे जब विराट कोहली इतनी enthusiasm, इतना energetic रहते हैं. Plus all the cameras will be on Virat Kohli whenever he does anything. So yes,
also, I think it is one series. Virat Kohli
correct. बिल्कुल.
Been a very good captain, a better player definitely, but it's one series. It's a little difficult to just decide on one
based
series.
on one series, yeah.
Of whether Virat Kohli, whether we should split the captaincy.
बिल्कुल चलिए last 10 minutes because then I have to do something else at 2:30 और थोड़ा lunch हमें भी lunch करना है तो we will be also doing another just not a live video. We'll be giving a post play analysis later in the afternoon. So please come back to Cricket Fables and please spread the word. We need your support. We need your love to grow as a channel. We do this channel because of course हम दोनों cricket के प्रेमी हैं, but we like to talk about cricket with people who reciprocate. तो please subscribe, spread the word कि यार दो मियाँ बीवी husband wife पति पत्नी pair हैं जो दोनों sports journalists हैं जो दोनों cricket प्रेमीज हैं. It's called Cricket Fables, as you know. Let's try and get some more subscribers, some more encouragement to justify what we do, friends. So a few more questions. Ripunjay Saran, what are Gill's technical flaws? He doesn't really have any obvious technical flaws. I think शायद आपका सवाल आ रहा है क्योंकि जिस तरह से उन्होंने वो a very Indian way of back foot defense उन्होंने खेला था. Overall, any good player और ये मैं कौन हूँ, मैं किस मुंह से बोलूँ, but critics मानते हैं कि बहुत अच्छे players अच्छे back foot players होते हैं और शुभमन गिल का back foot game दोस्तों बहुत प्यारा है. The way he stands tall and punches and pulls. So I don't think he has any major flaws, but sometimes hanging back in the crease and with the angle back can get you out. We've seen it, I think, twice now in this series. But overall, no real flaws. I think he's got a very, very bright future. और वो बहुत साल तक खेलेंगे इंडिया के लिए.
Vanch is asking us again and again. Webhav is asking, will Saini bowl tomorrow? As of now, there has been no official confirmation on him not bowling. They've said that, अभी तक तो यही बोल रहे हैं कि he's fine. और वो he was out on the field as well during Australia's innings. Last के जो 10 ओवर हमने देखे. तो in all probability he will. Hopefully he would have recovered from whatever strain he's had today. तो लग रहा है कि वो बॉल डालेंगे. पता नहीं कल तक कुछ भी हो सकता है. Hello, never knew you had a channel. Blank. Now you know. Subscribe.
Now you know.
Large Genesis is saying, with the cracks opening up on the pitch, India wouldn't want a target of anything above 250 plus.
Yep, there are going to be cracks. Day 5, the Australian bowlers will be more wary about how they play. So something popped up on my screen here.
I think it's for the press conference, is it?
Yeah. No,
soon.
There was a comment that Shardul Thakur made apparently, which caught my eye. I'm gonna follow up on that. Shashikant 439. Hey, do we have chances to win? Chance hai if you can somehow bowl Australia out for under 150 and then chase that kind of target. But again, you're gonna need a superlative bowling performance, and given the fact this is a very green, inexperienced test attack, मुश्किल है. पर हम चाहेंगे कि बिल्कुल जो है इंडिया जो है जाके ऑस्ट्रेलिया को तोड़े, कम स्कोर के लिए आउट करे, and but probably practically play for a draw with rain coming on day 5.
अगर वॉशिंगटन की बैटिंग ऐसी है तो भाई हर रोज आनी चाहिए. प्रणव
सही कहा.
I agree. शार्दुल also यार. प्रणव क्या बैटिंग कर रहे थे दोनों. लग रहा था कि कहाँ से किसी ने एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया. That is my thing, to have this partnership for the 7th wicket with शार्दुल and हम लोग ये बात कर रहे थे before the match began कि यार शार्दुल को बैटिंग के लिए भी लिया है. Definitely that is one of the things. Washington सुंदर को भी बैटिंग के लिए लिया है. तो समझ रहे थे कि they'll face a few overs from ऑस्ट्रेलियन अटैक. पर इस तरह की बैटिंग नहीं सोची थी. 50 for both. 50 कैसे कहते शार्दुल with a 6. What a 50. What a way to get to 50.
What a shot. I was live on Saurabh Pant's channel called Wake Up with Saurabh, and he saw it. He said, और ये उसने रोहित शर्मा नहीं किया, इन्होंने बाउंड्री पार कर दिया. So we all laughed there. So.
You know what, Lar? I'm with you. I don't know why. I also actually don't want rain on day 5 just to watch what I don't want rain anymore in this test match. That's when it can get interesting. What do you say, Jamie?
देखो
अब now you're at a point where it can go either way.
And that's been that kind of series. It's been a riveting, topsy-turvy series all throughout. So yes, of course, while rain is a dampener, आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि किस नजरिया से आप इस मैच के आउटकम देखते हो. हम चाहेंगे as Indian cricket team supporters कि Indian team हारी नहीं GABBA पे. But if the chances of taking the series home hinge on a draw, then you need that, because जीत यहाँ से बहुत मुश्किल है. Indian team will back themselves more to draw because of how Bihari and Ashwin batted. They'll take more inspiration from that. Plus, I see Australia somehow
maybe
scoring
Washington
runs.
Sundar will get 5 wickets tomorrow.
हम चाहेंगे, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि I want Australia to win, but I think tomorrow Australia जिस तरह से डेविड वार्नर ने स्टार्ट किया था, अगर वो जल्दी आउट नहीं हुए कल, तो कल वार्नर
मुश्किल
का
है।
दिन साबित हो सकता है दोस्तों।
Stuart Broad bowled superbly in Sri Lanka. I've seen everything now. Akshat Jha. Akshat,
I
you've been
thought
following.
उस मैच
We
में
haven't
मेरे को
followed
देखना
that
पड़ेगा वहाँ
one.
पे क्या हो रहा है।
I think last couple of them now. Natarajan
Sure.
bowled with great swing, but not impressed with his line. We were talking about it,
Yeah,
Shikara. In fact,
Shikara.
I said the same thing, that why is it that you're wasting the new ball bowling so wide off stump? तो मैं ये जेमी से भी बोल रही थी, but he's inexperienced. He does not. He's मतलब कहाँ से कहाँ आ गए हैं वो?
Yeah,
You have
बिल्कुल।
to give him that
और वो ज्यादा फर्स्ट क्लास
long
नहीं
rope
खेल
rather.
चुके हैं। Yeah.
तो इसलिए definitely.
चलिए, last couple questions. Nancy Jaiswal, what do you think about David Warner attacking mode is on?
Oh, yes.
Exactly what we spoke about earlier on this live stream.
दो
कि
back-to-back four लगाए।
Warner looked good, and जिस तरह से Warner has been put under pressure the whole series. एक तो excuse me, groin injury के कारण वो 2 मैच नहीं खेले, फिर सिराज ने उनको 2 बार जल्दी आउट किया था। वो वार्नर के ऊपर बहुत बड़ा ये उनका ईगो पे एक थप्पड़ है कि डेविड वार्नर ने रन नहीं मारे 3 इनिंग्स में, तो आई गॉट अ फीलिंग वो कुछ करेंगे कल, बट हम ये भी चाहेंगे कि कोई भी इंडियन बॉलर जो भी हो उनको जल्दी आउट करो यार, और स्मिथ और लाबुशेन को जल्दी आउट करो, एंड लेट्स हैव अ रिवेटिंग फिनिश टू दिस superb test series.
Absolutely. Okay, I think this is it, Jamie. Time to eat our lunch as well.
लंच करना है, और फिर
आप
मुझे
लोग
एक
lunch
और
के लिए
एक और वीडियो करना है, मुझे अपना आर्टिकल भी लिखना है अपनी वेबसाइट my2centsindia.com पे। मैं एक चीज
Magra was joking about how India reversed their batting order. That's true. It was a good one.
Akshat Jha, who's gonna retain the border? Well, if
India
India draw,
draws,
they will retain it. If Australia win, they will take it away from them. So retain would be India, and take back would be Australia from India.
Okay, I think this is the end of it. We have to record another video.
Yep.
But thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much. Yes.
और सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए अगर आपने ऑलरेडी सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो वी टॉक क्रिकेट हियर ऑन क्रिकेट फेबल्स एंड यू नो इन द वे दैट वी ऑल लाइक टॉकिंग अबाउट क्रिकेट जस्ट चिल आराम से।
बिल्कुल, आप जो लोग हमें देख चुके हैं काफी समय से, हम ऐसे ही हैं, हम अपने दिल और मन की बात कह देते हैं, हम आपके सवाल लेते हैं, हम थोड़ा इट्स जस्ट वेरी चिल्ड आउट बिकॉज वी आर जस्ट अ हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ हू लाइक क्रिकेट एंड वी लाइक इंटरैक्टिंग विद यू। तो इसी बात पे टाटा फॉर नाउ, डू जॉइन अस इन अ कपल आवर्स व्हेन वी कम बैक विद आवर more detailed,
concise,
a more concise day 3 review. Goodbye for now. Jai Hind.